this rule of 1,000 days that you have.
Yeah.
Can you explain what it is, and what people should take away from it?
I would love to. 1,000-day pacing. So, one of the challenges we face when we are trying to do anything that is challenging or different or new is that there's the initial challenge is our enthusiasm leads to disaster because we start out at an unsustainable pace. So the first aspect of 1,000-day pacing is to continually ask ourselves, can we continue at this level? And if the answer is no, we can't, then dial it down preemptively. So it's about preemptively dialing ourselves back to a long-term sustainable effort. And this works in every single field. So if you're when I was trying to build a presence on X, it was like, well, what's sustainable? One good idea a day and helping one stranger a day with my experience. So what I would do is in the morning, I would tweet out my idea of the day, and then I would look for opportunities to answer questions and help people. And that was it. That was the thing. Another thing we mentioned earlier, build a Substack publication, maybe more than one. Okay, so what I need to do for that is I need to write an article for every Monday. Now, in my case, I knew I could write more. So I started with 3 articles a week, and I knew I could sustain that in my case, I was like, I can do this for a year, no problem. And so I did that for the first year. Now, I want to get healthy. I want to do a race. So the first step there is not to sign up for a marathon. It is to commit to do some form of exercise every morning. And that's it. It's just something every morning. Now we're either going to do cardio or we're going to do strength. And we don't have to go big. We're just going to do something every morning, and we're going to make a habit of that. And then from that, we're going to build up. So that's the initial part of 1,000 days. Now, when things are going well and when the inevitable dips happen, we get sick, we get injured, there's some sort of setback. Now, the 1,000 days is, well, look, this journey I'm on is not about how I'm feeling this morning. It's not about this setback that I've got. It's about doing my best for this initial 1,000-day period. And if my best is really scaled down because of reality, well, that's just what I got right now. And I'm going to give what I got right now. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to persist, and I'm going to stick with this path. And so it'll help you manage the natural ups and downs. And if you're the kind of personality where you want to try and knock it out of the park someday, you're like, that's probably not a good idea because I know I'm going to have to back it up tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. And it just moderates things. And what you'll find is it really lets compounding and time do the work for you because one day here or there becomes much less important. And it's all about stacking up the reps over time.
Curious, why 1,000 days?
Well, when I started working with people, 1,000 days is what I use. When I started working with people as a coach, I would always say, hey, you're going to have to give me 500 days before you decide if the plan's working. In other words, we need to get the mindset way out there. And what I found in my athletic career is that if I could do the plan for 1,000 days, I would be in a completely different place than when I started. So 3 years is about the longest anybody can remember anything in terms of collective memory. If you wrote down all the scandals, if you go back in time and look at what were all the biggest scandals in 2022, and how many do you actually remember from 2022 now? And these were big news events. Most of them have faded from our collective memory. And so I just felt that this was a long enough time for me to go really to a completely different place. And I was right. I mean, I went from not running to running under 90 minutes for a half marathon off the bike a couple weeks ago. And just fitness wise, it's just a completely different place. I went from not competing to winning my age group in different events. And it's been great. it's a complete transformation. And then I'm thinking to myself, well, if that's the first 1,000 days, what's the next 1,000 going to look like too? And this has worked in a number of different areas in my life. So trying to become more personable, more outgoing, trying to be kinder. Just whatever the moment is, starting a business. There's going to be rough days and there's going to be good days. But really, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick with this process for 1,000 days to see where it takes me. If you can last that long, just that duration makes you an exceptional individual. It is really challenging to meet a low bar 1,000 days in a row. It's just not common.